fall of the 6x5, a cat and mouse game that started at the beginning of October 1st, 2021 and ended October 7th, 2022. This was a truly spectacular whitetail. I was honored and privileged to be able to harvest him. Okay, so right here, came into my left. I've drawn back. He's at 13 yards, had a now or never moment, and I sent it, smoked him. It's a double lung shot.
Smoked him.
And he took
So,
off.
just got done killing the fucking 6x5. Stay tuned. I've already found him. I'm just trying to go get Chisholm and some buddies before we do the actual recovery. But I'll post the pictures here in a minute. He's down.
Yes, sir.
I'll drag him out in the morning. We'll go show him off, then put him on some ice, get him out in the morning for pictures. But he is down. 6x5 has walked out for the last fucking moment. Got him out. We had him on ice all night. Get some pictures, get a good video of him and shit. And then get to caping. So, the story of this deer started in the 2021 season. At the very beginning, actually a week before the season opened, we had a buddy tell us that they saw this deer cross the road up on the hill about a week before we ever actually got him on camera. He was crossing consistently for a week, and so we started hunting hard. Never saw him opening day. He showed up that evening, and we got another property. He showed up that evening at about 7:15ish in the evening on October 1st, 2021. And then October 2nd, 2021, I had taken a buddy out to another property. We were going to do a doe hunt, and this deer showed up at 7 o'clock in the morning. That was the last time we actually got him in daylight. And then the whole season went by, I never could catch up to him. He stayed nocturnal with a couple of our other shooters that we were after, like Freak Show and the Big Ten. And we just didn't think we were going to get it done. Fast forward, 2022 season, we have him on camera during the summertime, and he's pretty nice. Still 6x5, but instead of having the kicker on this side, well, right here, he ended up sporting a split brow right here. Still one hell of a deer. Had him during the summer, all summer, velvet pictures, daylight. Had him. We switched to buck bourbon. That's why I really accredit this hunt to, was this buck bourbon. If I wouldn't have put this out, I wouldn't have killed this deer. This feed is the only reason why his doe that he came in with stayed at the feed. If his doe wouldn't have stayed, he would have never committed and actually came in. He ended up, I watched him for about 30 minutes yesterday, October 7th. I ended up killing him about 7:09 p.m. But I was watching for about 35 minutes, and he had come in behind. I called, threw a couple of guns out, and then some doe calls, and then because I had about 4 or 5 younger deer in front of me, had a small 7-point, had a couple does and a fawn, and then the wind was swirling real bad yesterday evening, and they kept getting spooked, dipped out of there, and so I've made the conscious decision I was going to shoot a doe if they came back in and got all jumpy. So I hit a couple calls, tried to see if I could bring one in. And about 5 minutes after my calling sequence, I heard some footsteps behind me, and I turned around, saw this doe coming in, immediately grabbed my bow and was like, yeah, I'm going to kill this doe. It wasn't maybe 30 seconds. I saw this right side start coming around the corner, and I knew instantly that it was him. And immediately the nerves started shaking, the bow was bouncing up and down. Yeah, it was. He stood there on the other side of the fence for about 15 minutes and watched as his doe went to the feed to this bourbon, this 110 proof, and started eating on it. And he finally crossed the fence. He got within maybe 6 yards right underneath my stand, and the wind swirled again. And that caused him to bust out of there. He jumped back over the fence, and I had him about 27 yards, but some Texans own that land, so we're not able to actually hunt that. So I had to just be patient, and I kept watching. I looked back, was watching, keeping an eye on his doe. His doe was calm, eating this, didn't have a care in the world. He wasn't going anywhere without that doe. Uh, so finally, after about another 10, 15 minutes of just painstakingly waiting to see what his next move was going to be, I thought he was going to walk out of my life. He ended up busting a left, going around behind me on the hill, coming down, and got to within maybe 13 yards. And I drew back. He snapped his head up, looked up at the tree at me, and it was a now or never moment. I sent it, watched my luminance disappear right here in him. 2-inch rage broadhead. Ooh, get that wasp out of here. 2-inch rage broadhead, tore him up. He went maybe maybe 20, 25 yards, piled up, was dead on our trail to walk in. He didn't ever make it out of the field. We'll make it to the field edge. Uh, but there's thousands upon thousands of trail cam pictures and videos, thousands of dollars and just hours spent into growing this deer over the past couple seasons, and really just putting weight and passing on a bunch of young bucks, knowing what was out there. This was actually my number 2 buck. My number 1 buck is named Freak Show, and he's a giant. Hope haven't really posted any pictures of him. Kind of keeping him a secret right now. Only my good close friends know about him, and I've seen the pictures. But it's been truly a blessing to be able to sit here right now with my hands around this deer after all the countless nights. I thought this deer actually got hit earlier this week by a car. I had a lady come to my job and tell me that her husband hit a big buck out here where we hunt, and I went about 4 or 5 days thinking he was dead, and he showed up on camera one night, and that's all the proof I needed that he was still there. The pressure dropped yesterday while I was at work, and I knew I had to get in the stand, and just that feeling, I knew something told me to get in there, and it paid off. He came in, and I never in a million years thought I was going to kill this deer. He's still got his velvet on him. It's a little furry right here. He's still got the strips. I'm going to get him shoulder mounted and display him on the wall. Really do this deer justice and pay him the respects that he deserves. He's got his ears split, been fighting. He's a mature deer. We were guessing him at about 5.5 years old this year. He was the tank. He was one of our mature bully bucks. Pushed everything around, but this feed right here, Buck Bourbon 110 proof, uh, it's the real deal. I have all my buddies using it, and we all love it. The amount of pictures and daylight we've seen since switching over to this feed has been fantastic. It's remarkable, actually. Uh, Big shout out to my buddy Ross at Buckhorn Archery for getting me hooked up back in February with this Matthews V3X. I bought it, early birthday present to myself. He got it all dialed in for me. Got my arrows. He built my arrows. Show these to you. He built my arrows. These are Rage 2-inch hypodermic no collars on a Black Eagle X Impact arrow with Max Hunter vanes and a custom just passing through wrap. This is a 300 spine arrow, sitting at roughly, I'd say, last time I had this checked, they were at 440 grains, 438, 440 grains. But this 2-inch broadhead right here did a number. It broke through both legs. It's stuck in his opposite shoulder. It bent the blade a little bit, but it did its job. This deer didn't go 20, 25 yards, and he was just leaking blood everywhere from impact. And I'm just glad they've got it done. Now it's on to doe management, herd management, until my number 1 shooter comes in, and just basically relaxing now, waiting to get my hunting buddy Chisholm on his big deer that he's been after. We're going to go do some public land. Been scouting on Onyx. Going to go give that a try and just see what the 2022 season has in store for us. But the video, the shot, it was kind of dark. I got it on my Tacticam. I didn't have my big camera with me last night. I actually went in for just a doe hunt, but it was some pretty decent footage. I had some pictures of him from last night when we pulled him out and everything. But yeah, this is just the beginning of our season this year. Stick with us, and we'll bring you some more good hunts. Thank you.
With the 6x5 chapter coming to a close, it truly is a bittersweet moment, but that's the highs and lows of bow hunting. As a bow hunter, we dream about pursuing a mature whitetail and finally being able to harvest him cleanly, and that's what we've been able to do here at B.B.H TV, and we'll continue to do so. Just thank you for sticking with us. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next hunt.